This is how to change a light fixture from this to this. This requires very little as far as tools, so let's jump right in. Now the first thing we need to do is get ourselves safe. So what we're going to do is leave the lights on while we go to the circuit breaker box and switch off the appropriate circuit breaker. It's always a good idea to be extra safe, so if you have a voltage meter or a circuit tester, we'll be using that in just a moment here as well. Now to remove the old fixture, it's pretty common to have some decorative caps like these here. So we're going to start by removing those. There we go. Okay. And typically this wire right here is going to be weight bearing. So a lot of times this will actually hold a lot of the weight, but we want to try not to put any strain or stress on that. So let's pull out these wire caps that are in here. So all you need to do is release all three of these, untwist them from each other, and then the whole thing should be able to come free. Okay, and that's that, out with the old. All right, I forgot to mention this before, but you do want to always test. I've got a little voltage meter here, and I'm just gonna test to see if there's anything lighting up, and it should definitely be off, and we're gonna test both directions just to be sure, and it looks like we're good. This would light up if there was any sort of current running through there, and these are really handy, they're really inexpensive too. I'll put a link to one of these in the description below. Next, I went and fetched the plate that comes with the new light fixture, and I noticed that the two screws that are mounted with a new cap, these caps fit on just like this, they look to be about the exact same distance as the ones that are there now. So I don't actually need to take this out in this case, but just to make sure, I'm gonna test fit my new decorative caps right onto the screws or the posts that are coming out here. Yep, so these thread right on there just perfectly. So we can actually just leave this one in place and we don't even need to use this one at all. Now, if you don't have a good fit here, then you can actually just replace this. You can take out the couple of screws that are holding it in and put this one in its place. Now another quick tip, it's always easiest to place your bulbs in while the fixture is on the ground and not mounted. That way you don't have to worry about trying to put those bulbs in while it's mounted to the ceiling. Okay, the first thing you want to do with the new fixture is fasten the strain relief cable. That's this one right here, and you can see that it's fastened right onto the plate here. And there's a couple of ways you can do this, but oftentimes you're going to have a screw that goes in here that's for ground if you don't have a ground. So this will work perfect for fastening this on. Now that's there, so if something comes completely undone, it can still hang by this, even if all the wiring comes done and the caps come off and everything. It's kind of a security or fail-safe. Next, we're gonna take the wires that are powering the fixture and put those in place. On this in-light fixture, it's really nice. They actually label everything. So you've got the L for line, the N for neutral, and then the green, there's a little green cord on this one to let you know that that's the ground. So the neutral is always gonna be white. The line is going to be black, that's line or load, and then the bare wire is our ground. So we're just going to fasten these up using the wire nuts that came with it. Now one thing I like to do once the caps are all on is I'll give a little pull on each of the wires to make sure they're not going to easily come out, because the last thing you want is for these to just pop free once you stuff them back in the junction box. It looks like these are all holding on together really nicely. So at this point we're going to stuff all of this back in. We're going to make sure that the wires aren't touching each other, as far as the exposed portions anyway. And then I've got two holes on my plate, and those are the holes that we saw before that those screws can go through. So there's one, there's the other. There we go. I'm blocking your view a little bit, but there you go. You can see that there's the two studs poking through. So now I'm going to take the caps that came with the kit. Now Inlight designed this particular fixture with 3 cables to mount everything, and it's a one-way push. So basically, if I want to tighten these up, I can actually just push up, and then they don't pull back down anymore. They snug in place right where they were. So I'm going to lift this up to where we want it, because right now it's hanging way too low, and then we'll go from there. And with that, we can flip on the circuit breaker again. Ta-da! Everything's looking good. So now our new light fixture is in place and this thing is all set. Now that you know how to conquer indoor light fixtures, it's time to move on to outdoor light fixtures. You can check out this video right here where I'll walk you through it step by step. I'm Nils with Learn to DIY. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.